So, here goes the first part in my System of a Down review-a-thon. Now, this one will be none other than their debut album, System of a Down. So, what sucks about this one is that it was ignored by the press and reviews. But anyway, how these will work with these albums that I'll do throughout this whole time is that I will read off the tracks in order and I will give my quick thoughts, ending with a wrap-up. So this one might start off a bit long. Then again, they might all, but who cares? So let's get started. Now, first off on this is Sweet Pea. Now, Sweet Pea is an awesome intro as well as a song. It immediately kicks your ass with some of Darren's amazingly heavy riffs, then boils down slower but more intense, using Surge's death scream. And just like the rest of this album, is amazingly written. Next off is No. Now this one is one of my favorites, as it opens with John doing an awesome drum intro, as then Baron will beat your ass down once more, and then Surge comes on with his vocals. Now the vocals in this one are very cryptic, painting an image in your head resembling a dolly painting smashed together with a McGree. And I'll just read off some of the lyrics that I've already typed down here. Books all say different things while people flap their yellow wings, trying to soar while being a whore at life and almost everything, which I feel is very thought-provoking in itself because of how it's written, but also how it delivers itself towards you. And third off is one of the most well-known songs they did, Sugar, which is extremely manic and very effective at painting the picture of insanity in your head through the music and as well through the near rap-like slurred lyrics of Surge, which is awesome. And it also illustrates the teenage mentality at the end with the repeated line, "What do I feel? What do I say? Fuck you, it all goes away." This also serves as an awesome track to introduce someone into System of a Down as a general. Next on the list is Suggestions, which is one of the more smoother tracks on the album, as the chorus of the song keeps the dark tone, but without the heavy guitars that is known on this album. Now, the song's lyrics are about a town being invaded, and it is rather thought-provoking like a lot of music, as well as being a great introduction into the more political side of System that is seen later on in their music. Now, next on the list is the slowest song on the album, but an amazing one at that, and that one is Spiders. Now, this one is great, but is known to be pretty scary to some because of how it's written, with Surge delivering the song with his voice going from extremely intense to a near lullaby-like state, and back again, coupled with the points in which the guitar goes insanely intense, mainly at the solo. This one can also serve as a strong, but not as powerful intro into System of a Down as a whole. Now we're about halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. I know I suck at singing, but nah, really, track number 6 is D-Devil, which is the most quirkiest song on the album. It's short, sweet, doesn't overstay its welcome. The song is pretty much an insane, slightly polka-inspired instrumental, with Surge screaming some of his poetry, which has one of my favorite lines, "Stupid people do stupid things, smart people outsmart each other, then themselves, then themselves, then themselves, then themselves." And as like a lot of that, it makes one think, just like their lyrics in a lot of their songs. Now we're going on to track 7. The punk-inspired, vulgarity-laced Soil. Now this one has my favorite solo in the whole album in it, in which Darren does an amazing Middle Eastern-sounding solo, similar in the whole feel of it to the instrumentation on the guitar within Hypnotize. But the lyrics, while very political, are somewhat forgettable. So this one, while it does stand on its own, is the closest song on this album to filler, which I absolutely hate. Track 8 is the epic song, War? Red War? Now this is one of the most distinct songs on the album. As they wrote, it is very aggressive. It is also great thanks to the creepy use of generated backup vocals in the song. Next up, track 9. The longest song, but also the heaviest track on the album, Mind, which sounds very progressive, starting off very calm, then fading out, and then coming back with an extremely aggressive riff, along with Serge's vocals being distorted, just to wake you up and beat you back down as the earlier songs did. The lyrics here are very intense, with lines such as mutually mentally molested children of a mother, as well as gonna let you motherfuckers die at the end. Next up, we go into the polka-style track, Peephole. And yes, it even has tubas in the background, and I should know, I used to play the euphonium, which is a smaller version, a bigger version of the baritone, and the baritone being a smaller version of the tuba. Now, this one is open to interpretation in its meaning. It is either a pro or anti-drug song, but when taken either way, it serves its purpose. So I'd say, on the subject matter, it is neutral. Gotta go on down here. Next up on the block is track 11, which is Cuber, which is somewhat similar to D-Devil, but different. I can't really explain how. Now, this one could also be considered near filler, but it flat out is not. It kicks ass. And going on to the second to last track is Darts, which sounds very similar to one of their later songs, ADD, American Dream Denial, which we will get covered in the Steelless album review in a couple of days. But the song is short, and it does its jobs amazingly, like the other songs on this album. And finally, we get to the final song, Pluck, Politically Lying, Unholy Cowardly Killers, which is a song written for and dedicated to the victims of the Armenian genocide committed in the early 20th century, which until recently has not been recognized as a genocide, for which system advocated for it being recognized. After all, they all are Armenians. Now, the song is very flowy, Eastern-sounding, and very danceable. Then it falls into an amazing bridge twice, once near the middle and once at the end. Now, that bridge feels very flowy, almost creating the feeling of falling, and then the album ends. Now, the final verdict on this one, I would say, is a 4.5 out of 5. Now, the album is extremely well written, and all the songs could stand on their own, but it feels a little too short. I most likely feel this because I love every song on it, but it is a definite buy. For if you're like me, you'll listen to this album in its whole more than a few times. Now, this is Nathan your Death Dealer, signing off. Power to the people, ride the lightning, and I'll see you again tomorrow when I review the mainstream success, Toxicity. And I will be leaving right about now.